Hello, friends. It's Monica, also known as Sleep After 60, and I'm coming to you for my week 23 update. It is Tuesday, August 22nd, 2017, and I had VSG on March 14th, 2017, in the Twin Cities, University of Minnesota, Fairview Hospital. And my surgeon was Dr. Daniel Leslie. What's different today, if you keep up with me, is that I'm just wearing contacts today because I had Pilates and I'm having a hard time with my personal trainer, watching her when she's showing me stuff with glasses, with bifocals, so I'm wearing my bifocal contacts. And I used to wear them all the time when I worked, but when I retired 2 years ago, it was too much work. So I stopped, and this is a good time to start again. So you'll see the difference. So, update. Week 23. I had kind of an interesting week. So my weight this morning was 151.5, which is a total weight loss of 2.4 pounds. And as I said, this is week 23. I don't recall, and every week in the notes section below, if you open the little thingy, I do all my stats, my numbers, and I think it's been quite a while that I've had such a large loss, a 2.4. I had another large, it wasn't large, but it was a 2 week lapse in that weighing, and that's when I was out of town. So I was maybe 4 pounds, 5 pounds, or something like that when I was gone. So I really haven't had that big of a weight loss. So what happened? I don't know. First of all, the totals. So since surgery, it's 46.5 pounds. Since November of 2016, which is when I started at the university. Remember, I started someplace else before. That was 72.5 pounds. My highest in this century, which I'm counting that as when I started just with my regular doctor, I was 240 pounds, so that's 88.5. And the highest recorded that I can remember that I was able to find in my medical records was 256, so that's 104.5. Why do I bring that up? Because somebody in the community very sweetly said something about, what did she say? She said, I can't remember, or I can't think of you as heavy. And so I sort of went back to look at the stats, because of course, the day of surgery I was 198, so I was already in Wonderland, but it took me forever to have surgery, because as you all know, I started on April 1st, and so it was almost a year later, and so by then I was 40 some pounds down. Anyway, what do I think? This 2 points, I don't know, to almost 2.5 pounds. I don't know. The only thing that I noticed was that I was completely medication free. My doctor, my private physician, not my bariatric surgeon, suggested that I take my blood pressure every day to sort of check in, and if it went over 130, to go back on the medication. And I'm not really good about checking every day, because you have to do it. The best time to do it is to do it before you have coffee. And a lot of times, by the time I let Ralphie's my dog, by the time I let him out and all this stuff, I kind of forget, that's what I do, and then I've already had a cup of coffee. But anyway, so everything was fine. It was in the 1 teens, and then all of a sudden it started to sort of crawl its way up to like the 140s, and I panicked. So I went back on the medication. I won't see when do I see Dr. Leslie? I think it's sometime in September. And I know that he doesn't answer those kinds of questions. I mean, it's not that he doesn't answer, but he defers me to my private physician. So I'll probably have to make an appointment. I'm going to, and I forgot to take my medication today, because I associate it with something else. But anyhow, I'm going to just do it and see, because all of a sudden it's it's in, I think it might have even been double digits today after just, 3 days of taking the medication. I hadn't seen it, my blood pressure that low. So I don't want to be doing that up and down because I don't know if that's bad for me. And obviously it has something to do with fluid retention, your blood pressure. So anyway, that's more than anybody probably wants to hear about this. So I know that on Instagram some people are talking constipation. Have never had any. I'm looking at, what, in another 3 weeks it'll be my 6 month my anniversary, and so the time has gone quickly. But in the last, I say it started like in June. I started to have some constipation issues, and this is what my doctor, my bariatric surgeon, told me before. The team, actually, I don't know if it was Dr. Leslie himself, but the team, what they told me even before surgery was that not to do laxatives. That laxatives are not good because of how they work in your body. They pull fluid, and that last thing you need to do when you've had weight loss surgery is to lose fluid. So what they recommended was a stool softener, and also to increase bulk, which of course, since you can't really do it with with food, that you take some kind of I did fiber, I did it as a gummy. Now I'm doing it. How am I doing it now? Oh, it's something I put in water, like a Benefil or something like that, and that's what they said. The other thing that I wanted to talk to, and I thought about making a video just for newbies of what my team told me, because at the first meeting, which was post surgery, which I think is at the 1 week that you usually see your doctor, I just happen to really like my doctor because I always feel like he thinks I'm smart, so he gives me all kinds of information, which is I always appreciate. One of the things that he said was, ahead of time, he said, there's no such thing. You're going to hear about stalls. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is that a sweet, person whom I follow, who's like 12 days out, said, oh, I'm in a stall. I've only lost whatever weight. And I really kind of felt for her because you're 12 days out and you're in a stall, really. How about, your body's in crisis just because you just had surgery and everything else. And I don't, I'm not her doctor, obviously. I just want to be a support person. Here's what my doctor told me. He said, and if you go back to my first videos, I'm sure I talk about this. And what he said was, you're going to hear stall. There's really no such thing. If you're keeping, if you're eating the amount of calories that you're eating, there is no stall. It's just an issue of hydration. It's how hydration, falls. If you're holding onto fluid, you're not getting enough fluid, and this is how your body's reacting. You're not gaining any weight. It's just distribution, and you'll lose it. Just be patient. Just keep at it. So, but I think last week I was the same weight, and the week before I just had a very, very small loss, and then I think maybe like the week before that it had a very minute gain, which like the next day when I weighed myself, it was gone. So I'm continuing to weigh myself every day, and for someone like me, it's really out of my comfort zone, but it has been really helpful, because I'm just looking at changes. For example, it was interesting that I have this new herb that I didn't realize that had salt already in it that I used, and I could taste that food was salty. Just that one night when, the vegetable saute that I had made, and my husband of almost 6 months, even commented, like, oh, gee, have you noticed that it tastes different? And it was a little saltier. And then the next day, I think I was up 9/10 of a pound, and the blood pressure, all that stuff. So in a way, it's just information. I kind of enjoy that, because then I feel like I'm a smarter patient, I guess. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, and I'm already at 10 minutes, I don't know how much good I can do, but it's that the most important thing that I'm looking at right now is self-talk. And a lot of you who follow me and who I follow, I will, at times I will comment on, self-talk and how you talk to yourself, and about not putting yourself down, or how you discuss yourself with yourself. So I'm really, really, ooh, there's a big long gray hair. I'm really concentrating on that, and on positive self-talk. As I've mentioned before, I don't snack in between meals. I haven't had an incident of binge eating, of kind of eating, out of control. One of the things that I do is I eat very simply. I stick to that. I still do Premier with cold coffee. I sort of found that about right before I went on our trip. I discovered that, and I really, really like that. Sometimes I'll even do, because I want a second cup, and I get up later, I start the day later because I'm retired. Anyway, I end up having 2 of those with, coffee, and because of I don't see that as a problem. It tastes good, and that's okay. And dinner is pretty much a piece of salmon, and I usually saute fresh vegetables. What do I mean about the self-talk? I just, I look at how am I feeling. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling hydrated, I'm feeling strong, because now I'm going to Pilates 2 days a week, and now in another 2 weeks I'll be doing the XRY or X whatever, that 2 days a week. So I'm trying really, really hard to concentrate on positive feedback to myself about what I'm eating, and food, and how I feel physically and emotionally. That's something that that I learned when I went to treatment. So it's not about calories, but okay, do I want something now because I saw something on TV, or because I'm stressed, or because I don't have anything else to do, or this, like with the salmon, the reason why I eat fresh salmon so many times a week is because it's a really good brain food, and we're aging, and so I'll make those kinds of decisions based on, and how is it going to make me feel. So I haven't gone back to sweets or to snacking, because I know that some of that may not make me feel at my best physically, and I don't want that time to be taken up, that brain power, into I want to, I don't want to, I'm going to eat it, I'm not going to eat it. And to me, that's worth it. And that's kind of, where I am. That's where I am today. That's where I am now. I don't know where I'll be in 6 months, but that's where I am now. Now, VSG, I just bought jeans, which I don't wear. I don't normally wear jeans. I just went out and bought jeans, and I can no longer wear curvy. Go figure. I have to return them curvy. I'm going to have to wear straight size 4 jeans. I'm not sure whether I'm complaining or I'm bragging, but besos to all who are in this together, and I'll see you all next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.